Greetings. So, you know how you dig in your inventory or you're sorting out your inventory and you come across something that, you totally forgot you had? Especially those note cards, right? And the same is true if you find, something that you've saved, that you've written, and you've saved it on your hard drive and you come across it and it's like, oh yeah. And it has to do something with role play. I'm not speaking of erotic role play, people. There are different levels of role play than just the erotic sort, right? Well, anyway, so I have found a um a journal that my fae had kept. It was this RP sim I went to I think it's about, yeah, like maybe 2 years ago now. Anyway, so I found it and I thought, well, I'll read it. I'll just read it. Not for other people, sorry, but not for you lot, but just to do it for myself because this is my therapeutic channel. This is what I do for me. It's a totally selfish thing. So, yeah, I'm just going to read it. I've alt tabbed over um, to Word and where I had copied it over into a Word file. And yeah, I'm just going to read it from there. Um, yeah, so, okay. So this is my Faye character writing in her journal. You know, I'm sure all the RPers out there understand what I'm getting at. It's like you have the little journals that you put up on those forums on the internet and all these websites and all that stuff or whatever. So, but yeah, here's mine. Okay. Okay. All right. I am unable to know where to begin the entry for this day. It is as if there are missing spans of time, yet time that has no spans. Times that were familiar to me, but times that I was not familiar. Though I do recall the store where magical books and things were sold, and the welcoming shop owner there. I recall the walk with another newly arrived to the town hall to be handed papers in which to fill out, given 50 ruvas to spend, and told of a citizenship ID that I shall collect upon my return. The town hall was breathtaking in its decor, the intricate detail of marble and stone, styled with careful touches of colors and patterns. The large structure stood dominant atop an isolated rocky hill. It was magnificent. After I left the town hall, I found a quiet spot to claim as my own, to contemplate where I have been in my long life and where I am in my present life. Even with all the new memories and experiences that I have gained just today, it is still not enough to push away the memories of my chosen family, which are recent and raw. I remember that eve clearly, and I wish that I did not. Wolfram, my beloved. She wants to venture out on her own. It is her will that compels her to leave us, something that she is unable to control, Victoria tells him gently. Wolfram raised his voice in response. No, she cannot. No, she can control it. She simply chooses not to. We have loved and protected her, shared our home and way of life with her, absolutely and without question gave her the best that she could ever imagine, that she could ever want or need education, tradition, musical lessons with the best violin master in all of Southeastern Europe, and presented her with the finest selection of human males in which to choose. He paused for a moment before picking up a random antique vase to send it flying into the air before it collided against the wall. His face was angry, his fangs protruding fully, and when he continued to speak, there was a snarl to his words. There is no reason for her to leave us. This realm, our home. She is young. She is precious. To leave us to journey through lands of which she does not know or encounter beings that she is not accustomed to. That is not wise, and I forbid it. Victoria's soothing voice attempted to calm him. We have had her for 100 years. Every child will leave the nest one day. Today is that day, my beloved. I, too, worry about her future safety, along with of whom she chooses to mate. She is Raoul. She has a generation to maintain, to continue to grow. She is not only our human child, but she is also our Lele child. If she were pure human, then her desire to venture out on her own would not be quite as devastating, would it, my beloved? Wolfram retracted his fangs as logic and reason began to set in. He knew that Victoria was right, up to a point, and his voice showed it. Desire. Desire is an overpowering weakness for her. It is not her will that has encouraged her to venture forth into the unknown. It is simply her desire. We have failed in preventing that weakness from ruling her. Victoria wrapped her arms around him, pulling him close to her. Her voice was calm when she told him, Do you remember when we brought her home with us and gave her a tour of the grounds, inside and out? Yes. And we showed her our true selves and that of the family, of where we slept? Yes. Also, do you remember that you tested her to see if she would flee and tell others of our location to bring harm to us as we are sturdy? And did you not prevent her to escape? Wolfram looked to Victoria with a crimson streaked face. She did not escape. She kept herself busy through that day, reading in the library, as she waited for us to waken. Yes. Wolfram continued in memory. Upon our awakening, she presented us with a small vial that hung from a leather cord. Yes, Victoria responded gently. What else do you remember, my beloved? Her words and how she said them. Wolfram's face continued to bear crimson as he recalled what I told them. So, yeah, this next part, that's my younger Faye speaking. You are not like the Sturgi in lore that I was informed of by my birth family. When I was vulnerable and frozen, you offered your open palms. You shrouded me from the chaos mages that were on a kill hunt for me. You risked yourselves to bring me to your sanctuary, not as a Ra'u, but as one of your own. I then presented that small vial that held my blood. I do not doubt that you are aware of the Lele, as we are aware of the Sturgy. I am made up of two halves, one half pure and the other carefully chosen. I present you this my I prevent this sorry. I prevent you this vial of my Rowan why do I make up words that I can't pronounce? Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Rowan Rowan blood, as I have carefully chosen you. After Wolfram vocally recalled what I told them, Victoria raised a finger to trace the outline of the leather cord that hung around his neck, before tracing the outline of the one she wore around her neck. Through tender words, her voice had begun to waver under the strain of the flow of red tears to tell him, My beloved, she has given us the whole of her essence, not as a gift, but because she chose us. Her very will allowed that choice. Her will wanted that choice to be made. We must trust her, as we did when we brought her home that day. I cried myself to sleep that morning after they retired for the day. I felt as if I was split directly down the middle. One part wanted to remain, the other part wanted to leave. I wish that I did not feel, I wish that I did not feel to know the things that I do. Too painful, for it gives my heart additional cracks. Yeah. Wow, I forgot. Man, there's like pages of this. I forgot that I did all this. Wow. I really love background, like character backgrounds and character development. I love it. Um, right. So I'm just. I'll read another one. Hmm. Don't want to be it. Don't want it to read it something too long because people get butt hurt and they complain for whatever reason. All right. So here's another entry. This is the evening of the first entry. Okay. So, all right, before I begin, let me just say so, what I'm doing right now is that I had found an old journal that my Faye character had written. This is about like 2 years ago. And so, what I'm reading is from my Faye character. I mean, everything I made up, like to fit that. Well, yeah, I made up in order to have my background story for that RP sim that I was in, right? So I didn't change much of her original background because her background is like 12, no, 14 years long. Um, because she's my main character. Like, I love my Fae. I'm not one of these RPers that has like all these different characters. I stick to one. But anyway, so I had to adapt her background story just a bit mm, in order to match the RP. Yeah, you fellow RPers, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, this is her second entry. Um, okay. After I left the tavern in Kalnon, my belly still carried a queasy feeling. Fortunately, it did pass with time. This evening, physically, I feel as if to be expected, which is, how do they say it's normal. However, after the swordplay event, one of the spring festival events, the finest night, it must be said that it made me feel remorseful. For I was awarded a choice of three prizes. My choice was the one day pass to Kalnon Library's sacred books, of which I requested for that award to be given to the other to the others that were greatly affected by witnessing the death of their fellow, a death that fell. Oh, I remember now. This was more than 2 years ago. This was like about three. Oh, yeah. This was like 3 years ago. I remember this RP. Yeah. I totally kicked some butt that day with my little blade. Yeah. Sorry. A death that fell under my blade. To others, it may have been seen as an unnecessary death, especially against, especially against that of a Fae. No matter the race, even if they are deemed to be benevolent and harmless, there is always that side of the mind which can make the heart change its course for a variety of reasons. When those reasons form themselves to change the nature of a being, then to not act against that change of being would have made me untrue to my will. There is no such thing as true good or true evil. Without one, there is no other. There are always consequences of both. One may take time to show how the consequences are set out to be, yet the other may act as quickly as fast of which leaves falls from a tree. To overcome another, even with the skill, is to also accept that there will be a consequence for that action. Yet to be accosted by a being with a blade has its own dire consequences, especially if the wielder of that blade is not connected with their soul spirit. Then it is only just that I am the one to teach them, even if it means to strike to kill one of their own. Everything has a consequence. No matter the realm, everything has a price. I am mostly sure that the others who were at the finest night event had already passed a form of judgment on to me. Some referred to me as Fay, which only made me smile. I could forgive their ignorance, for they do not know in this new realm. No one knows my race. I do not concern myself with this, for it is a trivial matter. It is not up to me to stand upon a rock and proclaim my race for all to hear. What is up to me is to whom I show my true self, and the events after the events of which I have partaken recently in Calnon, I fear that perhaps that will be a trust a long time in coming. As I sit here with this journal, I take a break after each paragraph to rub the necklace of the blue stone around my neck. My chosen family, their gift of promise to me. I know that my chosen father would be proud of my swordsmanship. I feel that he knows, and that affords me great comfort. When I was at the healing waters with the others, I noticed a change of some sort. Perhaps it was simply because I was still in remembrance of the fallen Fae that succumbed to his death under my blade, though of that I do certainly not regret. It was the honorable thing to do. It would be a high shame if the others that witnessed the event did not come to the same conclusion. I took my leave from the healing waters, thanking the others for sharing their time, for I enjoyed sharing mine. I returned to Hollow's End. That was the name of the RP. It was Hollow's End. Okay, right, sorry. I returned to Hollow's End after changing into appropriate attire and reclaiming my violin. I went to the bridge that spanned over the river and slid my bow over strings for many hours. My music often helps to ease the rocky nature of my self reflection. The soothing tones of melodies seem to help light half the weight, allowing deeper accesses into my spirit soul. Maybe one day others will appreciate the very same of themselves if they were to hear my melodic strings in motion. On to practical things, I must find a place in which to live, and also a way of profession to pay for said place to live. I will look at the adverts, see what is on offer for both. I would enjoy a profession that dealt with the dearly deceased. I know quite a lot about the dead, even more so of the undead. Now I wonder how many Sturgi dwell within these realms. Perhaps I should go to Moldavia, of which I know as fact they call their domain. I realize that my chosen family would send to me any monetary funds that I require, but I want to see how far I can make it on my own without their aid. They should hold trust in how well they've raised me and prepared me for the world, for I know my trust courses through their veins. So that's it. I mean, there's a lot more, but that's all I'm going to read now because I don't know. This is probably stupid. And hey, my teeth are not in. Oh, yeah, I bet it was that thing that I. Well, let me put my teeth in. Okay, so I just totally gummed out my story there. But well, uh, that's that wasn't the point of this video. Oh God, how embarrassing! Oh wow. Well, anyway, look. So all that time, just pretend I had teeth. Okay. Well, that's it. That's all I'm going to read. My bravery has run out. Thank you for listening. I'm going to keep comments turned off because I can. Okay. Thanks for listening. I feel all suddenly shy and embarrassed now. I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just read like my faves like journal from a few years ago. I can't believe I did that. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Okay, bye. Before I change my mind. Bye.